rolling. Pictures up. Action.
Cool bathroom. You mind if I check out the minibar?
Go right ahead. Can you grab me a water? What is all that?
Too much? I can put some back.
No, it's okay. If you're that hungry, we could always order room service.
No, this is fine. This is perfect. I actually eat like this all the time. Want to split a Kit Kat?
Sure, I'll help you out with that. Given minibar inflation, this is probably a $10 Kit Kat.
You're right.
Don't worry about it, it's on Paramount.
Paramount, as in Paramount Pictures?
You don't think publishers put up writers in hotels like this?
I have no idea.
No. Leave it to the movies to know the meaning of excess. I'm here on Paramount's dime. They optioned my book.
Oh.
I wrote the screenplay.
Oh. Wow.
Well, we'll see how, oh wow. I'm getting notes from my producer in the morning.
That is so cool.
Pass the M&Ms.
There's this movie I wrote. I'm going to produce it independently.
Oh yeah? What is it?
It's set in the future on a space colony.
Uh-huh.
We're like the first generation of children born there. Do you really want to hear this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so these kids were like all conceived right around the same time. And now they're like 16, 17 years old going through all the normal rebellious earthling shit. You know, sex and drugs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Only they've spent their entire lives on like this weird hermetic colony in the middle of outer space, but it's the only home they've ever known. And now this utopian society is on the brink of like total ecological disaster. So in order to save their colony, they must band together and overthrow their leaders, who also happen to be their parents.
They overthrow them?
Mm-hmm.
How?
They kill them.
They kill their parents?
Yeah. One by one in like really cool ways. So, in the third act, all the grown-ups are dead, okay? And there they are, the new generation, finally in control. In the middle of all this carnage, there's like blood and guts everywhere. It's really gross.
Ugh.
But you know what they discover?
What?
They're still doomed. They are just as clueless as their parents. And that's my movie.
It's interesting.
People say it's awesome. It's an allegory.
It really is. So, let me ask you. When you come up with a story like that, how do you know it's a screenplay?
What do you mean?
What makes it a movie and not a novel?
It's a movie. It has to be a movie.
Yeah, I know. But what if you actually wrote the story as a piece of fiction?
Why? And that would be like such a waste of time. I mean, no offense or anything, but fiction is like so over.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love books, and I really respect people like you who still bother to write them.
It's almost quaint to you, isn't it?
Like watchmakers or violin makers, you know, people who devote themselves so completely to a dying craft. It's touching. It really is.
You know, if I let myself think like that, I'd have a pretty hard time getting up in the morning.
I really don't know how you do it. I mean, I really don't. It takes a lot of courage to do what you do. I mean, who do you do it for?
What do you mean, who?
I mean, besides yourself, who's your audience?
Uh...
Middle-aged and old people who have the time and the money to buy books and actually read them? That's nothing. That's like a tiny, minuscule fraction of the population. Kids my age don't read. They just don't. It's not that they're illiterate, it's just, it's not an important part of their lives. I mean, the only stories they like are the kind that can be shown to them. They can just sit there and let it wash over them. Why read a book when they could much more easily rent a DVD or go to a movie or something? Why spend like $30 on a book that probably isn't even that good, because even the books that are supposed to be good are really as good as they say they are. They're just hyped up to get you to buy them.
You're being way harsh.
I'm sorry.
Why'd you come hear me read tonight if this is how you feel?
I'm not saying this is how I feel. I'm saying this is how kids my age feel. I wanted to meet you. I really did. I read the Ari and
You did? When?
A long time ago, like 3 years ago.
That long ago?
You know when you read a book and you want to meet the author, and if you do, you pray to God he doesn't turn out to be like a total schmuck or something?
How am I doing?
You're doing okay. I liked your voice when you read tonight at the Bug Soup.
You did? Thank you. So, you like the Erie?
It's one of my all-time favorites. First time I read it, I could not stop crying.
Really?
When the nest gets knocked over by the storm, it was beautiful. Every word. It was like poetry, the whole thing. It really was.
Thank you. It's being reissued in paperback.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that and The Gentleman Farmer. Out of print for years. Now they can't be rushed back into print fast enough.
That's so cool.
See, if you live long enough, anything will happen.
What do people call you?
What?
Your friends. What do they call you?
Eric?
Eric. Just Eric.
Rick, Ricky.
Ricky?
People who've known me a long time call me Ricky.
I love it. I'm gonna call you Ricky.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry.
Ricky is reserved for a select few. A rapidly diminishing few. Why my mother and father named a Jewish boy Eric? As far as I could tell, there is no Eric in the Old Testament. I looked. When I was about 8 or 9, I discovered I had the same name as Houdini. Then, all of a sudden, it was cool to be an Eric.
I know I should know who that is.
Harry Houdini, the great Houdini?
Was he like a famous magician or something?
Illusionist. Escape artist of legend.
Oh, yeah!
His given name was Eric Weiss. Eric with an H at the end.
So you were named after Houdini?
No, it was a coincidence. They didn't know, my parents didn't know that was his real name. I remember my grandfather telling me stories about the great Houdini.
Oh, yeah?
He saw him once, back in the 20s, on the Lower East Side. Houdini had these heavy chains wrapped around him, and they locked him inside a steamer trunk. Then, they threw the trunk off the pier into the East River.
Wow.
It was wintertime. It was freezing. The crowd waited for him to come up. Minutes went by. They were certain that he'd frozen to death. When finally, miraculously, he burst to the surface and everybody cheered.
Oh, wow.
I've come to see that Houdini and I actually have more in common than just our names. We're both escape artists.
What did you ever escape from?
Brooklyn.
Oh, which, speaking of...
Uh-oh. What are you up to?
Oh, no, it's so good.
What are you up to?
I just started. I read the first few pages in the bookstore. The Lefty Day Camp.
Camp Zion?
Oh my god. Kenny changing into his bathing suit.
Uh-huh.
It's awful.
Awful.
So awful. It's hysterical. Did it really happen like that? I mean, the girls walking by and laughing. It's everyone's worst humiliation nightmare come true.
Why?
Well, it's true, right? I mean, it's too horrible. It has to be true.
Why is that important?
What?
Knowing that something is true. People are always asking me, is that you? Did that really happen? I mean, as if it has any bearing on anything. What is that about?
You're Kenny, right?
That's what I mean.
I mean, it's no secret. Kenny is you.
Not me, a version of me. A me I might have been.
Were you really such a dorky kid?
He's not dorky.
He's pretty dorky.
He is not. Kenny is an every boy. Kenny Fleischman is anyone who's ever been seen as an outsider.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a copy line you'd see in an ad or something.
I'm sorry. I've been giving too many interviews lately. You really shouldn't smoke, you know.
And you shouldn't bring girls half your age back up to hotel rooms.
Oh,
Gummy bear?
no thanks. You know, I never really understood the appeal of gummy bears.
I think they're wonderful.
What's so wonderful about them? They always get stuck in your teeth.
They're so small and smooth and translucent. See? They're like little nuggets of sea glass. So don't you have a wife or something?
Is that what you want to talk about, my wife?
No, it's just that I remember the whole picture with a bio thing on the cover of the Ari said you had a wife.
That's true. It did.
And this one, it's like, wait a second. Where's the wife?
Very astute detective work.
Oh god, she didn't die or anything, did she?
No, she didn't die. She just doesn't want to be married to me anymore, that's all.
Really? Why? What did you do?
What do you mean, what did I do? Why do you assume it was something I did?
Happens all the time. Middle-aged man gets famous, goes completely sex crazed, and fucks up his marriage.
I see you've done research on this.
My dad did the same thing. I mean, he's not a famous writer or anything. He just made a lot of money out here.
In the movie business?
Nah, plastic surgery. I mean, here's this average slumpy guy, and then suddenly in his 40s, he's like this millionaire plastic surgeon who's surrounded by these beautiful women, and it's like he thinks he's been given an imperative to screw as many of them as possible. I mean, never mind that my mom married him before he had anything, put him through med school, had all of his children and everything. It's disgusting. So you're divorced?
Not yet.
But you're getting. Too bad.
Yeah, it is.
How many kids you got?
None.
Well, that's good. I mean, believe me, kids in divorce, that sucks. So is she gonna fleece you now that you're famous?
I don't know. I don't think she would do that.
My dad thought the same thing. My mom skinned him alive. So what went wrong? You mind me asking?
Oh, well. It's complicated.
How long were you together?
Since graduate school.
How come no kids? Oh,
We met in Iowa, Nina and I. At the writer's workshop?
she's a writer too? Would I have read any of her stuff?
No. So, UCLA, right? Tell me again, when do you graduate?
Next June. Soon I'll be one more overeducated assistant ordering Chinese chicken salad for some asshole producer.
What do you want to do?
I want to be the asshole producer.
You don't want to write screenplays like everybody else out here.
Nah, I wrote my movie. I got it out of my system. Sophomore year, I took screenwriting with this guy who makes all his money doctoring movies, but he never gets his name on anything.
Uh-huh.
See, I don't get that. I mean, no amount of money would make me want to give up having my name on something. I want my name to be out there so people know me and know who I am. Otherwise, what's the point? You live a while and then you die.
You want that badly to be famous.
Doesn't everybody? I mean, look at you. Why did you want it?
My father sold shoes in a Buster Brown store on Sheepheads Bay Road.
Your dad owned a shoe store?
No. He worked for the man who did. He wasn't a partner. He was an employee. For 39 years. He gave his life to that place. It wasn't even his to profit from. Yet he still gave everything to that goddamn store. I could never imagine what was so attractive about that place. Why he chose to spend so much of his days there and not at home. I remember watching him closely in the morning, trying to figure out the mysteries of manhood, the rituals of work. I'd watch him get lost from my window in the sea of Brooklyn fathers all beginning their day. I should get you home.
What? Okay, is that it?
What?
Did I do something?
No, let me call for a cab.
Call for a cab to my car?
Yes, this is Eric Weiss. Could you call a cab for my friend?
Your friend.
Thank you.
What's that?
Cab fare?
What am I, a hooker? I can pay for my own taxi to my car, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, maybe you think you owe me something. You don't. I knew what I was doing coming here tonight. I mean, everybody has one of those stories that they can tell for the rest of their life. This tonight, this is mine.
Yes? Thank you. Your taxi's downstairs.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
This is gonna sound really lame given the situation. Will you sign my book?
Sure.
It's Allison, by the way.
I know. 1 L or 2.
Just one.
There you go.
Thanks.
My pleasure.